Hello, friends, and welcome inside to our beautiful League Unlocked studios. My name is Eric. Thank you for joining us today. And with Worlds officially behind us, we remember the good times from the month-long tournament, the marathon that the entire event is on all the players involved. And to give it some honor, we're counting down the top 10 plays from the 2018 World Championship. We're only looking at the main stage, no play-in games are involved here, and even if they were, I'm not sure there were any that would actually crack the top 10, but this meta was absolutely fantastic. It was all about individual outplays and polar opposite, really, of what we saw in 2017 with that Ardent Sensor meta, and just wait 45 minutes until your AD carry has 4 items. Most of the games at this Worlds, you didn't even see an AD carry get 3 items because games were ending too darn early. So we're going from 10 to 1, the best plays from the entire event, group stage and knockout rounds. And starting off at number 10, 100 Thieves make the list. You believe that? 100 Thieves were part of one of the top 10 plays at Worlds 2018. The only problem for them is they were on the low light end of this highlight, and it comes in the group stage against Invictus Gaming. IG, the eventual champs from 2018, truly showcased that sometimes even 3v5 isn't enough.
Actually, Ryu's gonna face check in with you. There's Cleanse being popped, the stun on top of it, and they're gonna die picking up Jackie Love, and they'll find his lane mid as well, the double kill in for Anda himself.
They may try to go for more here. They're around the Baron, they're on a rookie.
5 versus 3, Rookie can cut away pretty cleanly now, and it's up to the Shy, coming back and forth. Now what will 100 Thieves do with the numbers advantage? Looking in, the Shy's gonna jump away and not be knocked up just yet, but will they turn in for Baron? Keep in mind, Ning is alive, but somebody's gonna find himself the slow. The giant knockup's not gonna be found, his bell to slam into the backside. It's a double kill for Rookie. And will it be more? The third, looking for the fourth. They're trying to run away, and poor Someday can only walk. That flash not gonna go too far. Not gonna be an easy answer. Body slam again. In a 3 versus 5, IG find 4 kills.
And a genuine 3v5, just able to take the team fight that was sitting there.
Now, yes, you gotta blame 100 Thieves a little bit for funneling as 5 into a narrow corridor like that against the likes of a Gragas, Rise, and a Gangplank to completely, instantly blow up the entire lineup. But still, shoutouts to Rookie, the Shy, and Ning for even thinking to go for that play when you're down 2 members. Their bot lane was both dead, not part of it at all. That was an official 3v5, and they end up getting 4 kills, as Freak so eloquently said. But that was just kind of the story of 100 Thieves in that group stage. If you remember, they also got 3v5 against Fnatic as well in the group stage, but that play was a little bit more decisive and impressive from the likes of 100 Thieves. That comes in at number 10. Let's roll on to number 9, and as we know, LeBlanc was one of the most coveted, sought after, and highly picked and contested champions at the entire event, with a whole bunch of world-class talent in the mid lane. There were outplays aplenty throughout all stages of Worlds on that champion, and one of the first guys to get rolling on that champion was Jizuke on Vitality, and against Cloud9, he showcased that he can still play those assassins and carries.
Cloud9 stay too long, and they give up 2 more kills. Jensen is going to be back out on the field, though, and he is Galio. That might be enough to deter them. Svenskern's the only damage left, though.
LeBlanc over the wall. Shane's going to land back across. Almost gets that kill picked up. He's burning.
He didn't get him.
The stopwatch. They're not going to get the trade, and they're already on the Baron. What a kill for Jizuke, and it's going to be the catch as well. No way out for Jensen. He'll only get the trade, but crucially, Smite is down.
They stop the Baron there for Cloud9 with some big plays from their mid laner, but Jizuke had the extra swap here, finds Svenskern, escapes out the other side of the Raptor pit, and this is definitely a fun one, boys.
The fancy feat by Jizuke allows him to survive that fight, and also got to give an honorable shout out to Jensen for getting the double kill in a 1v4 in that same play. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 bonus for you guys, but pretty much every single game that Vitality played at 2018 Worlds had at least one moment that made you want to scream either out of a great play or somewhat of a misplay, a little bit too aggressive, but every single game they played was super exciting, and that's why we've got to remember them for what a fantastic tournament that they had. Even though they didn't get out of groups, they still came away with some huge wins and had fantastic plays across the board. But we're rolling on to number 8, hitting our top 8, and it's our first Fnatic highlight, and this one comes in the knockout rounds. It was when EU pretty much destroyed the hopes of North America. 4 bans went the way of Caps in this matchup, and he was left on the Azir. And just when Jensen makes a fantastic play on Lissandra to delay the game, or it looks like extend it, Caps on an Azir pick that you don't see that often from him, he says no, no, no to Cloud9.
C9 going to clear the wave, and they're going to walk over to top side. Keep in mind, this could be backdoorable easily by Fnatic. Going to walk forward, couple shots in for Whippo. They're not going to turn it down. Will this be a fight? In goes Licorice, and it's a big bunch of damage. They popped off one, but here comes the backline access. Licorice forces a flash away. It's 2 for 1, 3 for 1. Kills coming across as C9 picks up the crowd with the backline. Oh, look at Caps! He's done everything, and Sneaky falls. A massive quadra kill for Caps. This will be 2-0, and Fnatic are a single game away from the World Finals.
And that was a pretty painful start to the series, or end of the series. It looked like, you know, when you end a game like that, Fnatic had all the momentum to go up 2-0. Maybe Cloud9 claws back in that game, but probably not. Caps was pretty darn fed on that Azir, and then they go up 2-0 and eventually 3-0 Cloud9. I know people are saying Caps had an underwhelming tournament as a whole, specifically ending on a 3-0 series is a bit of a sour note, but he still had moments where he lived up to the MVP hype that he got from EU Summer, and number 8 on our list was one of those very plays. Coming up after the break, it wasn't just Jizuke that was popping off on the LeBlanc. Mid laners across the globe wanted their hands on that champion. Hello, you beautiful people inside and out. Welcome to League on Lock, and we are counting down the top 10 plays from the 2018 World Championship. It was hard to narrow it down to 10 plays because there were individual outplays, team outplays across the map, across the board for the entire event. So getting it down to a measly 10 plays was difficult, but now we're in to the top 7, and one of the interesting things about Worlds 2018 was, of course, Vitality's resurgence, or not resurgence, just wrath on the whole world, and Gen G, the defending champions, falling flat on their faces at 1-5. And it all started in their very first game against Vitality. Not many people thought that the guys from EU, the second seed, could get anything done against Korea, and in their very first matchup against the defending champs, me oh my, did that ending come down to the wire.
This is where Gen G have to make the decisive call. Do you stay for Elder? Do you stop the inhib take? What is the decision here? Ruler stepping forward, going to draw the aggro from the Elder Drake. Top side, Jizuke is going to be stopped by Cube potentially, but the inhibitor's still taken down, and Jizuke gets himself away. It's 4v4 in this bottom part of the map. TP available for Cube to join in.
Attila, they're going to
Now,
finish the
they're
game.
still looking to make things happen. It's Attila going into the base. Vitality has to buy time. That's the call. Cube has to try to defend this on his own. Jizuke will not be taken down. The shutdown goes
Here
through.
we go.
Vitality's looking to end it. They're pushing Nexus turret number 2.
Let's
They
go,
can't
boys.
get back
Keep
in time.
pushing.
Gen G
They
is
got it.
rushing to Nexus, but Vitality will take them down. Europe 2-0 against Korea.
That play alone really set the stage for Worlds 2018, because how often, think back in recent history at international competitions, how often have you seen a Korean team so disorganized and discombobulated from the macro of an opposing team, not just any team, a Western team? That was a shocker to see, and one of the best games of the group stage. Congratulations to Vitality, fantastic macro play from them. Talking about macro, you've also got a whole lot of micro at the 2018 World Championship, and we alluded to some LeBlanc outplays. There were so many you could pick from so many different mid laners on that champion. Thank goodness Riot reverted her back to her old assassin self, and one of the most hyped up mid laners at the entire tournament in Invictus's Rookie got his hands on that champion a few different times, and his victim list, or slayed opponents list, was really racking up to some serious numbers throughout the entire tournament. And one of his main victims came in the group stage before they met in the finals in their tiebreaker against Fnatic. It was Caps who felt Rookie's wrath.
So it was a good counter kill from Whippo in the 1v2, and now it's Brox's turn to make something happen here once again.
And they might have it. Distortions on cooldown, but Caps, the health bar so low. Oh, the Q jukes away! And Rookie is incredible. Finds that kill. Being
He can
flowed,
get Broxa
has
too.
to run. The clone needs to block. He's got to walk out from this one. And that's going to be the Q getting juked away from Rookie. Able to just stay alive. What a play out of the Invictus mid laner.
And look at the confidence that Rookie plays with. Every opportunity he can look to turn that around, he goes for it.
One of the most satisfying kills that you can ever see in the game is one little tiny auto attack that you know is going to do 50 damage, securing a kill on someone even after they've dashed away. Exactly what Rookie got against Caps there. And you know, if Hillisang didn't show up to that mid lane, that was going to be a double kill for Rookie. He was fantastic in that tiebreaker. Of course, Fnatic eventually won that game. Caps actually rebounded quite well in the mid to late game to take that one, but who cares, because IG got the 3-0 in the finals, and that's all that matters. Well, they wouldn't have gotten to the finals if they didn't take down KT in the quarterfinals, and one of their players who stepped up huge in that series was Jackie Love in that 5th game. He's been dubbed as the Wild Turtle of the LPL for some aggressive flashes and mispositioning, costing his team some fights. But in Game 5 against KT, it was exactly that, an aggressive flash that had IG moving on to the semifinals.
KT has the 5v4 advantage, but health bars at half on some critical members means it might not be as important as it looks. Shy's gonna take some damage. Rookie looks to go in, does get the passive pop. Shy's still gonna be soaking. Root comes down, damage goes through. Jackie's able to find 2 big kills. Jackie Love just found everybody, and that's gonna be a triple for IG. They're gonna find everyone. It's KT Ace.
That is insane! He just runs right up to the front line. Jackie Love comes up huge just when they needed it.
You
right
said
down the front.
that nobody wants to be the one flashing forward to make the mistake in Game 5. Jackie says, I'll flash forward. I will be the hero in this fight.
It must just be so satisfying to be one of the most heavily criticized players on a roster to make a game-changing play like that. He barely even took any damage after he flashed forward, which is how you know it was just the perfect play for him to make. Then he's saved by the Kindred ulti. He gets the Penta stolen from him. Maybe it's a little bit higher on our list if he gets the Pentakill. It shouldn't be, though. He still has the Quadra kill. The main couple of kills were on the likes of Score and Def to take them down out of the team fight, and they would go on to win that 5th game in shocking fashion, upsetting one of the biggest tournament favorites of the entire event. Congratulations to IG once again, and more so Jackie Love. He needs to be getting some love for the great play that he had throughout the entire tournament, and he held his own against Reckless in those grand finals, but he stepped up when it mattered most. And by the way, those were the only 2 losses against KT that IG suffered in the entire knockout stage. But we're moving on to number 4, and it's yet another LeBlanc play out of some world-class mid laners, and for the first time in G2's history, they advanced to the knockout rounds, and G2, or Perks specifically, in Game 5 against RNG, 99.9% of people would have probably picked RNG in a 5th and decisive game, but Perks had probably the best game of his entire competitive career in that 5th game, and it was so good on that LeBlanc, we couldn't just pick one play. So it's basically just a highlight montage of Perks in Game 5 against RNG.
Defensive flash from Uzi. Teleport's coming down.
Comes Perks.
Not just to find out. Perks blows up RNG.
And for the vast majority of this, Perks.
So close. The Ignite is ticking. That is not it. Perks is godlike. Death sentence onto the cannon creep delivers a perfect play. GA.
Uzi's down.
Back up. With Uzi down. It's all on Xiaohu. Xiaohu's running. Look at Perks. Perks has found him. Perks goes golden with the hourglass. They may have just done it.
G2 have just dismantled RNG, and they're gonna make their way to the semifinals.
11 kills and 0 deaths for Perks in that 5th game, and while G2 did get destroyed 3-0 in the semifinals by Invictus Gaming, that Game 5 against RNG will be the go-to match when you're talking about Perks and it comes to international competition. That is the defining game of his career to date. And even though they got destroyed, I think G2 is feeling pretty darn good about getting to the Final Four at Worlds 2018. Coming up after the break, it's not the Final Four. We're looking at the Final Three, the top 3 plays at Worlds 2018, the best Lee Sin in the West, and one of the greatest finishes you'll ever see. What's up, everybody? Welcome back inside to League Unlocked. My name's Eric, and today we are counting down the top 10 plays from the 2018 World Championship. Plays, not necessarily moments, although we kind of cheated with perks in Game 5, having multiple plays from that game, because that LeBlanc performance was otherworldly. Other LeBlanc performances that made the list in Jizuke and Rookie against Fnatic in that tiebreaker. There was a whole lot of LeBlanc highlights, and that's what you're going to get when you have an assassin in that mid lane. No Urgot plays on the list, even though he was such a staple pick, as well as Aatrox. Shoutouts to, the Shy against G2. He single-handedly kind of won a couple of those fights in Game 3. One Invictus was behind, but not enough to crack the top 10, just outside. Now we're rolling on to the top 3, and you've seen a couple of Cloud9 performances being on the losing end of those plays, but coming into that top 3, you finally have them on the highlight side, the good side, the side you want to be in, and of course, the highlight of the entire tournament for the likes of Cloud9. If it's not taking down RNG, the perennial favorites, it's of course 3-0ing a Korean squad in a best-of-5 series. First time North America has ever done that. We're talking about Game 3 against the Africa Freaks, which is the only game that Africa looked like they actually had a chance to win. They were in the driver's seat. They had a lead. It looked like an easy Baron secure, but no Baron is easily secured when you're going up against the likes of Licorice's Ornn.
This should definitely be theirs. Only Lissandra and now the Ornn could contest.
Teleport is being used. What are Cloud9 gonna do about it? Jensen can go in and stealth to buy time, but it would be almost the last case.
They're gonna try, they're gonna dive into the pit, plenty of damage available, but will they even stop the Baron as the smite? Oh, he gets the kill on the juggler! Who's gonna get it? You've gotta be kidding me! Licorice solo carrying this game! There's still 2 kills for Africa, but can you believe that Baron steal?
It's got to be the most satisfying pop-up of plus 325 gold with a little Ornn smack of the hammer. And I know it's been talked about to death, but a couple of key points in that play. Spirit, you got to smite before you die just to survive and hope for the best that maybe you can get enough burst to do it. But he doesn't even lay down the smite. You got to stay alive in the fight at least. And Kramer, you should have been auto-attacking the Baron, especially he probably had a second or at least a couple of hits before it even got down to that 16 health where an auto attack from his Varus would have killed it, but he was focusing on Licorice instead. So a lot of things to go through in that play, but that was a turning point. 3-0 for Cloud9. It was Licorice's Baron saving play, along with Jensen coming over. By the way, before Jensen even gets into the pit, Tucson misses a hook on Thresh that he definitely should have landed to even prevent Jensen from getting into the pit at all. Maybe then the play goes a little bit differently as well. So multiple misplays on the Africa Freaks front. That's the only way you're seeing an insane steal like that. But still, an auto attack at 16 from Ornn, that's coming in at number 3 on our list. And deservedly so for Cloud9's rookie top laner. We'll forget about what happened to him against Fnatic in the semifinals because we're on to the top 2. The 2 best plays at Worlds 2018. And of course, we've got to shout out the greatest Lee Sin of the tournament, and before the finals, the best jungler at the entire event. Of course, Ning destroyed him in the grand finals and eventually won series MVP in those grand finals. But before those 3 games, Broxa was looking like the best jungler and one of the best players of the entire tournament, not just from the West, but the entire event. He was looking like one of the very best. And in the tiebreaker against Fnatic, his Lee Sin's early game was absolutely disgusting to get them ahead. And even though Ning made a nice play on his Gragas, it was Broxa's Lee Sin that completely styled on IG around the Dragon Pit.
There's no need, though. 5 members from Fnatic in the bot side. Duke is pushing you, getting an advantage on the top. You didn't need to go for that play.
Well, they're going to try for another one, though, and this one, Body Slam stops the queue. Here comes Battleland as well. 2v1. Broxa may have bit off more than he can chew. The health bar's running down. The kick, the Q, the second.
Get out.
That was gorgeous. And there's another one coming as Jackie Love also falls. Fnatic win the skirmish.
And Broxa is an absolute monster for Fnatic this game. Taking over 3-1 and 2. He gets the kill, gets out, baits in Jackie Love, and they take him down.
Those are the type of plays that make people roll swap entirely to become a Lee Sin main to try and pull those off, only to quickly realize that they can't even ward hop properly and they have no chance of ever putting up a play that's that mechanically intensive, but they get to mess around on Lee Sin for a little while. And of course, the most fun thing to do on Lee Sin is to rush a Zhonya's so you can do the golden kick. Right before the Q lands, you press the Zhonya's and it looks really cool. Well, Broxa was looking super cool on that Lee Sin pick throughout the entire group stage. He even busted it out in the finals, but obviously it did not work to the same extent. Ning showed up big time in those grand finals, but every Lee Sin game in the group stage and the knockout rounds leading up to the finals, Broxa was putting up a pretty darn close to immaculate performance on that champion, and he has been under the radar for the majority of his time on Fnatic with the likes of Reckless and Caps on that lineup, but he really had a spotlight shone in on him in this Worlds 2018, and deservedly so. I hope the sour ending for Fnatic fans for how this event ended doesn't take away from the fantastic performance that their team had at the entire event, and specifically Broxa in the jungle. So huge shout out to him for his performance the entire event, but it wasn't enough to come in at number 1 on our top 10 plays from Worlds 2018, because that honor goes to the likes of KT Rolster, even though they disappointed, didn't even get to the semifinals for the top seed from the LCK. But the fact that they were the only team to even take 2 games against IG, considering how dominant they looked after that, and that ending to Game 3 is the closest ending we've ever seen in competitive League of Legends.
Everything's still fine here for KT Rolster. They've got the Shy in the bottom lane, but Shy has no TP. This is going to be your game-ending push one way or the other. It's KT going for the base. It's going to be a base race. Nexus turret number 1, taking down to half HP. KT looking to end it right here, right now. Ning taken down to half. It's Shy versus Smeb at the base at the same time. Bottom's going to be taken very low. Yukao barely going to be kept alive. Score taken down to one corner. Smeb nearly going to be killed now as well. Def taken so low. The Blade Caller's not able to find him. Def goes in a killing spree. It's the Shy still in the base. It's KT looking to try to stand and fight if they can. The Shy has made his way onto the inhibitor turrets, onto the Nexus turrets. They're going to be taken down. KT still marching. It's a base race. The Shy's onto the blue Nexus. KT's onto the red. Who's going to win? The Shy will not. And KT takes it to Game 4.
Holy crap! They won the top side 4v4 with Baron buff on. KT Rolster still are in Worlds!
The ultimate tease from the observers is the highlight of that play, scanning all the way across the map to go to the opposite Nexus. But I mean, Smeb TPing out of your own base when there's a Fiora destroying your Nexus turrets to help the opposing, to help your team take down the Nexus. Wow, I mean, that came down. We've seen like OMG versus Fnatic come down to 1 auto attack, but this is basically 1 to 2 auto attacks from both Nexus. They're both going down. The OMG Fnatic one, the other Nexus was fine. This was the closest game of all time, and it's coming in at number 1 on our world's top 10 list. That's all the time today for League Unlocked. My name's Eric. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the flippity flop.